There's a YouTube channel called Alpha M that I really like. That is just this gentleman. I don't know his actual name. I never bothered to look it up. But he's a guy who just gives a whole bunch of varying life advices to men in particular, whether it's related to dating or hygiene or exercise, general like social life kind of stuff. Just gives a lot of life advice, and I find his tips to be very, very useful, to be very insightful, very grounded. He does have a bit of a car salesman vibe to him, which kind of put me off at first. Not that there can't be good car salesmen that are also good, trustable people, but I just get a little bit on edge around those people and a little bit more wary about telling them some secrets. But he doesn't have to be my best friend. He just has to be a guy who says some good things, and I think he says a lot of good things. One of them in particular that has stuck with me, it was on a video, an advice for like flirting over text or something like that. And it was, know when you're being blown off. He says, if you ever find yourself asking somebody if they saw your text, everybody sees their texts. You are being ignored if they don't respond after a certain period of time. You don't have to assume that right away, but after a certain period of time, you can just generally gauge if people don't have interest in you. It's not that hard to figure it out, but I think a lot of the time, myself included from the past, we lie to ourselves and try to come up with reasons why this is just a temporary thing, that they actually do want some kind of romantic or friendship connection with me, and they'll come around. Or that, there'll be a point when we'll be as close as I'm trying to force us to be. And this isn't particular to texting, it's just particular to relationships in general. Just being around other people, just know when you're being blown off. It's so hurtful when you are being blown off, right? When you're trying to get somebody's attention and they're not giving it to you, it can kind of almost feel like, well, what, you don't appreciate people who like you? But then, like, all of us have been in a situation where somebody was trying to pursue some kind of closer connection with us than we really wanted to give. And we do have the option of telling them honestly, but I mean, that can be exhausting. It's very understandable that a lot of us just choose to distance ourselves. And I think that we have every right to do that. I think we have every right to be cold to people. Whether it's good or it's bad, it's moral, it's immoral, doesn't really matter. It's something that we all have the right to do, and something that we don't need to outright criticize other people for doing. We're usually making a very personal-based argument when we're saying that somebody just shouldn't treat people like that. Well, at the end of the day, we also have to look at ourselves when people are treating us that way. Because, I mean, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It's not a time to look at yourself and say, well, I really am a piece of crap, I guess, if this person... It's just a time to evaluate what kind of person do you want to have that strong of a connection with that you're seeking. Is it really with a person that doesn't care about you enough to respond to you for weeks at a time? As hard as it is, we have to let people go, even ones that we thought were going to mean a lot to us, or did at one time, and we've just sort of grown apart from. Yeah, just know when you're being blown off. And then just cut your losses and deal with it. Again, so much easier said than done. I think that I've honestly been blessed by my lack of a real social circle growing up. Not complete lack, it's just I've never had a tightly knit group or core that could stay around a whole lot of time. And part of that had to do with my actions of choosing to distance myself. Part of that had to do with other people not really wanting to be as close to me as I wanted to be close to them. There's a whole lot of factors, but I think through all of it, I've just learned the value of next. This is a great idea from a book called Winning Through Intimidation I just read. Just say next. Make that your life philosophy. Okay, that's done. We move on to the next thing. doesn't mean being rude to people, doesn't mean giving them a big smack, making a dramatic exit out of a relationship. All that it means is just, okay, time to put my attention elsewhere. Once you realize that you're just spinning around in a little cul-de-sac in a relationship, it's time to just follow the street on out and go down another road to make your way onto your greatest prosperity. And, of course, trite and tired phrase, just, they may be few and far between, but the people who stick around are going to be worth far more than all those people you were putting all that emotional investment in that could not return it.